Hi everyone, today's video is going to be centered around disease, particularly COVID-19, and how it compares with the predictive programming from the movie Maze Runner. The similarities between the two are uncanny to say the least. If you are unfamiliar with the term predictive programming, it is defined as a theory that the government or elites are using fictional movies or books as a mass mind control tool to make the population more accepting of planned future events. We have seen this used in The Simpsons, The Hunger Games, Back to the Future, and many more shows or movies. I'm going to play some clips of The Maze Runner that stood out to me in comparison of what is happening today in preparation of the future. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Thanks.
It reminds me of the very first broadcast I made in 1940, helped by my sister. We, as children, spoke from here at Windsor to children who had been evacuated from their homes and sent away for their own safety. Today, once again, many will feel a painful sense of separation from their loved ones.
Have been found to be infected seem to be having mild illness, if any illness at all related to the infection. There's a few theories as to why this may be the case. I think we will hopefully learn more about this in the coming weeks, months, and years. One theory is we know that there are other coronaviruses that circulate commonly in the community and cause common cold. And because kids frequently get colds, there's some thought that maybe some of those antibodies are providing them with some protection to this coronavirus. The other thing is there might be a way that kids' immune systems interact with this virus that is different than what we're seeing in some of the older adults or people who are having more severe.
In the beginning, we were lost. All we knew for sure was that the younger you were, the stronger your chances.
You work for Wicked?
Long time ago.
There, some schools are now closing at the first hint of possible exposure. So just how vulnerable are children? NBC medical correspondent Dr. John Torres is here to answer some commonly asked questions. But the aspect of this that is about children is kind of surprising because, as I understand it, they haven't really been affected as much as adults have by the coronavirus.
And you're right. That's the one thing I think a lot of people are going to be surprised about. The World Health Organization did a study, and they found out that of the children, this is in China, of the tens of thousands of cases in China, less than 3% were actually in children. And of the children that got infected with the coronavirus, over 98% only had mild symptoms. So it hardly affects children at all. So it's one of those things they seem to have a little bit of protection.
You know, at first, we had the best intentions. Find a cure, save the world. It was clear you kids were the key, because you were immune.
They're out with a recent article that looks at children, and it seems like they're not really being impacted as severely as other age groups. Any theories as to why?
Yeah, this is really encouraging news. I think there are, according to the scientific evidence so far, there are at least three main reasons. One is the immune system. Children's immune system function differently than the adults. For example, they have a strong innate immune system. The innate immune system is the cells in that system can respond immediately to the foreign invaders, which is called upon to fight against this virus or pathogen.
Eventually, we found an answer. An enzyme produced by the brains of the immune. Once separated from the bloodstream, it can serve as a powerful agent to slow the spread of the virus.
So you found a cure?
Not exactly. The enzyme can't be manufactured, only harvested from the immune. The young. Of course, that didn't stop Wicked. If they had their way, they'd sacrifice an entire generation. All.
COVID-19 pandemic has led to one of the most significant scientific efforts ever witnessed worldwide in trying to fight a disease. Billions of pounds is being spent on trying to find a vaccine, cure, or other medical procedure to combat the virus. One of the most exciting areas of research is in blood plasma, which, if taken from patients who have survived coronavirus, could be crucial in helping others suffering from the disease. Dr. Michael Joyner, who is leading US efforts to research blood plasma or antibodies from patients who have survived COVID-19, tells The Sun Online how his research can be used in the global fight against coronavirus.
Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Joyner of the Mayo Clinic. I lead the United States National Convalescent Plasma Expanded Access Program. The purpose of this program is to harvest plasma from patients who have recovered from COVID-19 disease and transfer this antibody-rich substance to individuals with active COVID-19 disease. We hope that by transferring antibodies, we will help infected patients recover more quickly. We have transfused roughly 700 patients in the United States as of Sunday evening. We see no major early signs of toxicity or safety issues. We have some interesting anecdotal reports of success, but it is far too soon to tell, and we need to do rigorous analysis and comparisons to ensure that treatment is working and to understand the best use cases for this therapy. Results from these comparisons should be available hopefully later this month on a preliminary basis and more thorough analysis in May and June. The role of convalescent plasma and also passive immunity via other strategies, in other words, transferring antibodies to sick patients, could potentially help fight COVID-19 disease as the pandemic continues. We believe it might be useful in preventing intensive care unit admission for sick patients who are otherwise on a hospital ward, and it may also help shorten the time in the ICU for selected patients in the ICU. Convalescent plasma and passive immunity strategies may also be helpful to protect healthcare workers from getting the disease in the first place and also other vulnerable populations. People need to recognize that after the first wave of disease is over, there are likely to be second and third waves and smoldering cases with occasional outbreaks and hotspots. Convalescent plasma therapy and passive immunity via hyperimmune globulins and other strategies will also be useful in these contexts. We see this whole strategy as a stopgap biological approach to treat COVID-19 disease. It complements public health strategies, and we await vaccination and other key new medicines that may be effective in wiping out the disease more generally.
Our world. Billions of lives lost to fire, famine, suffering on a global scale. The fallout was unimaginable.
Oh my God. Please let us get down. Please let us get down. Everything's on fire. Every single cabin.
What came after was worse. We called it the flare, a deadly virus that attacks the brain. It is violent, unpredictable.
COVID patients suffering from lung failure filled ICUs in New York City. Doctors at Mount Sinai noticed an alarming spike in something else: strokes.
We saw an unprecedented increase in the number of large vessel stroke patients coming into the health system.
45 in a 4-week period, nearly triple the normal number, according to neurosurgeon Dr. Joanna Fifi. Half of the patients had COVID and were, on average, 12 years younger than typical stroke victims.
How surprising is that?
It was very surprising. Everybody on the team noticed it and said there has to be a correlation with COVID and stroke.
There are still so many unanswered questions about this debilitating virus. Among them, what is it doing to the brain? A limited study of 214 COVID patients in China found more than a third suffered neurological symptoms. The most common, loss of taste and smell, dizziness, headaches, even unconsciousness, and in rare instances, stroke.
Dude, where are you going?
I just want to see.
You can look around all you want, but you better not go out there.
Why not? What's through there?
I don't know. I just know what I'm told. I'm not supposed to leave.
And plans for a new physical barrier or wall to secure the vast areas between our ports of entry. In the past, most of the people in this room voted for a wall, but the proper wall never got built. I will get it built. Simply put, walls work and walls save lives.
All right. So we know the Bible speaks of disease, famine, pestilence, and plagues that will signal the end of the days we know and spark the return of Christ. The sun is already scorching the earth due to the elites manipulating weather through HAARP, H-A-R-P, and chemtrails. This causes droughts, which causes famine. Wildfires eating up the land by way of the weather manipulation. I watch the news and see countless cases of pestilence worldwide that are causing the starvation of our people. Locust swarms especially stand out with their reference even in the Bible. And now we have COVID-19. This all sounds eerily similar to what was said to the kids in the Maze Runner. We don't know for sure whether this particular form of COVID will be used as population control. However, we can be aware and open our eyes to the devilish world around us. The end is near, and Satan has filled it with temptations meant to distract us from the truth. Reality TV, social media, and lustful thoughts will deter you from the one true God. 1 Peter 5:8. Be sober, be vigilant. Because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. God bless you all.